What's good? It's Woog. Boy, Andy Ruiz has really said some wild things since his Joshua rematch, hasn't he? He had this tongue-in-cheek, backhanded, complimentary way of crediting yet discrediting Anthony Joshua's performance and his win. Not overtly, but his praise includes words that sound like running, dancing, and Joshua doing a great job at moving, instead of Joshua doing a great job jabbing him in the face hard and shooting a nice straight right, then moving. I'm not saying that Ruiz isn't congratulating Joshua, but when he is, he's really packing in some personal distaste for Joshua's style of fighting here. But what really jumps out is Ruiz's honesty and his excuses about his training for the fight and his commitment, admitting that his weight was more laziness than it was strategic. This after him saying he's coming in lighter all the way up into the fight before weighing much more than he did for the fight, the first fight. That was confusing. We speculated on what it meant, whether Ruiz fooled Joshua and his camp, having them think that he was coming in underweight, and then thinking that on the night of the fight, boom, surprise, I'm heavier than ever before. It might have been a strategy, some thought. Or, as others thought correctly, he was Buster Douglas between beating Mike Tyson for the title and then losing to Holyfield immediately after, totally out of shape. Ruiz was pretty huge here, guys. Well, after the loss, and several times since, Ruiz has really let the press and the public know the answer to that, hasn't he? In every interview leading up to the fight, he sounded like he was taking it very seriously. I saw nothing, even in his higher profile interviews or TV appearances, that indicated that the fame and the money would cause him to lessen his commitment to his career and to his training, especially given the magnitude of what he had just accomplished and how hard he had to grind to even be in the position to fight for the title. I remember his decision loss to Joseph Parker, and although that was for one of the belts, that fight felt like an eliminator to see who would then eventually get matched up with the biggest names in the division. Klitschko at the time, Joshua, Fury, Wilder. Parker won that fight by decision, so up went Parker to fight Takam and then Joshua, and down went Ruiz to have to work his way back up. He was devastated by that close decision loss, and he didn't fight again for over a year. So now, 3 years later, he beats Joshua for the title, as a late replacement, mind you, and walked away with the belts, and the adulation, and the chances to make even bigger money. I was just fooled into believing that he totally recognized the importance of the task at hand. I thought that he would treat his achievement, the championship, and his years of preparation and grade A level development with more respect than he did here. He had to know that this moment would be fleeting if he didn't double down on greatness here. And he'll go on to fight some more if he chooses. I did think that his "we'll talk it over with my family, with my team, we'll take a look at my career" phrasing in that post-fight press conference was kind of interesting. But I do think he'll return to the ring and try making another run. I just think he totally blew it here. Not just in losing the title, which somebody loses in every fight that's not a draw. But he also probably blew his chances in getting a third big fight with AJ, both with the irresponsible weight gain and dogging his preparation for the fight, and because the style of win for AJ doesn't really make the public demand to see that again. The public now thinks that AJ could beat him just like that in a third fight. Again, I think that Ruiz's honesty was refreshing. That press conference, though, sounded terrible. Even when you're not making excuses, it sounds like excuses when you keep saying, "and I'm not going to make any excuses," then go on to list a bunch of excuses. Sorry. These post-fight pressers and interviews sounded brutally honest. And yes, it was an excuse. But he apologized to his fans and to his trainer, to his dad, to himself for not training harder and taking his team's advice to properly prepare, to professionally prepare. He said that he basically trained himself for this fight. That sounds unbelievable. But you know what? The public should forgive Andy here. He's not a bum. Far from it. He's a top 10, maybe top 5 heavyweight in the game. He wasn't his best in this rematch, clearly. But let me know your thoughts on Ruiz's handling of success and what you think he's going to do going forward. Will he get another big fight next? Will he get a top 5, a top 8 heavyweight? Maybe not next fight, but in the fight after that? Because he could really use a recovery fight, maybe somebody who's a little less threatening, just to get back in the saddle. Which promotional group will he sign with? Is he going to stay PBC with Al Heyman? Does he get a shot versus the Wilder Fury winner, versus Luis Ortiz, versus the undefeated Adam Kownacki, the Polish New Yorker? Does he fight a DAZN guy next? Dylan White, Alexander Usyk if AJ doesn't commit to defending the WBO title against his mandatory, which is Usyk. There's a lot to sort out. Do Alexander Povetkin and Michael Hunter run it back? Or does one of them fight Ruiz or White? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like and subscribe. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.